placed the United States, Al-Qaeda and the Taliban on a coalition course. This report gives us an insight into those battles and how they are being fought.
Kabul has changed dramatically in the last decade. It has grown fast, and international aid has poured in to support Afghanistan's fragile democracy. 10 years ago, when the Taliban was still in power, Al-Qaeda had a presence here in Kabul. Now, the remnants of Al-Qaeda are hundreds of miles away to the south and east of here, in training camps across the border in Pakistan. It was in Pakistan that Osama bin Laden was killed, and where this man, Yunus al-Mauritani, a senior al-Qaeda operative, was captured last week. Mauritani was the handler of this man, Shahab Dashti, a German jihadist. He had come from this nondescript mosque in Hamburg to an al-Qaeda camp in Pakistan. He wanted to fight US forces in Afghanistan. But Mauritani told him to go home and launch attacks in Germany. Dashti never made it. He was killed in a drone strike. And that's become a familiar pattern. Al-Qaeda recruits from Europe, even America, reaching Pakistan's Badlands, and US drone attacks trying to eliminate them and their mentors. One such recruit, Bryant Neal Venus from Long Island, New York, a Christian convert to Islam, radicalized by firebrand friends and what he read online.
So over the last 10 years, that's led to an increase in the types of material that we're seeing, and almost, if you will, an arms race of competing sophistication for making their material more accessible.
And that's the new Al-Qaeda. Its different branches pumping out their jihadist message online. Perhaps the most influential, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, and its charismatic mouthpiece, Anwar al-Awlaki.
We know that they continue to plot against the United States and against other Western countries as well. So the situation in Yemen remains a serious one for us.
Then there's al-Shabaab in Somalia, drawing recruits from as far away as Minneapolis in Canada. The growing strength of Al-Qaeda in North Africa, a stone's throw from Europe. It may yet benefit from the unrest in Tunisia, Libya and Egypt, making the job of counter-terrorism even more complex. The lone wolf.
You have all of the related AQ groups, all of the terrorists, all the Islamist groups, and so we have to watch out for them, and we have to watch out for lone actors.
Times Square bomber Faisal Shahzad was one of them. He had training in Pakistan, but when he came home, acted alone in building his abortive car bomb. But he was an amateur, and building bombs, according to Al-Qaeda recipes, is an inexact science.
The mixture which I'm making is one which I don't have great confidence. Some of them will probably injure the person making them.
But the danger is that eventually someone will have enough training and ability to build a deadly device. Najibullah Zazi, an Afghan living in Denver, came close.
If enough people get hooked on this sort of publication, this particular publication, and practice what it preaches, then some of them will succeed in causing the havoc and harm that they set out to do.
It's not just another attack that worries this former top DHS official, but the sheer volume of soft targets. Malls, hotels, power plants, rail networks.
If I was still on that job, I'd be very worried about today, Al-Qaeda exploiting those vulnerabilities, because, you know, we have a lot more work we have to do.
10 years on, the battle against Al-Qaeda is very different, but far from over. And I think we can...
The plight of black immigrants in conflict-battered Libya is one of nightmare. Many of these young men from sub-Saharan Africa say they are being punished for the actions of other non-Libyan mercenaries who fight for Muammar Gaddafi. We have their concerns portrayed in this piece.
More than 1,000 sub-Saharan Africans languish in the heat, shaded by abandoned boats, outcast victims of Libya's war. The Red Cross has been handing out supplies, but those who are living here say their initial treatment wasn't so generous.
Well, we are here almost 5 days now. But the first day, they bring us here in the morning, they beat us, ask us, are you involved in this war? We told them that no, we didn't involve in this war. They beat us, the same thing we told them, we didn't involve in this war. We are here for work.
They are from places like Chad, Ghana, Mali or Nigeria, and say they're being punished for the actions of other non-Libyans, mercenaries who fought for Muammar Gaddafi. As the fighting raged, rebels reported hundreds of mercenaries on the front line, imported by the Gaddafi regime to fight for money or promises of a better life. CNN interviewed such fighters on several occasions. This wounded man told us he was from Chad. His dead companion, wrapped in a blanket next to him, was too, he said. Another wounded fighter said the same thing. But Libya has for years had a history of using migrant labour, and those workers are now being lumped in with other foreigners who fought on what became the losing side.
I've lost all I have. All I've worked, I've lost them. I'm homeless now. I am moneyless. I don't have anything. So I can't go back to my place. So I need the international body to do something of this ugly situation.
Some of those here talk of men with guns coming, choosing women and taking them away. To be raped, they say.
We are scared. Our life is not secured here.
Aid workers say many of those here have been waiting for weeks for a boat home or for someone to simply believe them.
We have submitted a report with recommendations, and we remind all parties that it is very important to respect these people and to protect these people.
In a downtown Tripoli office building, Benghazi Brigade rebels sift through the passports of detained men from Mali, Somalia, Chad, Gambia and Ghana.
It is possible that we pick up anywhere from 50 to 100 people daily.
These men were detained and brought in for processing. They say they too are migrant workers, not paid fighters. But those doing the processing say they'll have to prove it. If they can't, they'll be kept in custody, eventually to face court. What court and when they might go there, they couldn't say. Michael Holmes, CNN, Atlanta.
We'll go for another break. We'll be back momentarily.
ñoo indi xéewal yot nañ la bayil bu ma la waxee nga may tuddee ni ay nit dinaa la rey de bi lay dinaa la rey xaaral ma wax la waa baax gis nga ñii ma la tuddal nii fañ génnee raful pour joxe kétab lëmma két goo xam ne dafa am 3 master bedroom
amat kër ga fan la nekk
mu nga Diamond Estate nekk Old Yundum
déedéet kay
ñaareeli pire bi xam nga lan la
déedéet
oto bu ñoo wax seri jeep 4x4 bu bees tàq yaa koy daaji si mbuus ñetteeli price gi
waaw
gaa yi teg nañ juróomi ticket ab Angleterre yoo xam ne boo amut visa wala bëgguloo dem Angleterre ñu yot la xaalis gi ñeneenteeli price ñaari junne juróomi téeméeri ab Angale ci ñaari téeméeri nit ñu gagné juróomeeli price gi junneb saakob maale ñu jox ko junneb nit ku ne benn saakob maalo génneel téeméeri ab Angale rek jënd ticket gi te xam nga lu ci gën a neexam boo jëndee ticket gi ba pare fañam time yoo xam ne fa ñoo nekk si télé gi di def panel discussion nit ñi di woote gi nga boo wootee bañ la na allo gañal
neel allo rek
sala
ama Diamond Properties mooy bolom doole xamul ndànk.
Welcome back. Until recently, wrestling has been one of those games that gave the Gambian sports an identity. But after few difficult years, this sport is being given a new facelift. Wrestling authorities are looking to take their revitalization plans to gymnasiums, where bodybuilding is an important component. Our Babakar Senghor takes a closer look at the new idea and what will be needed to get it up and running.
Said about how and where the Gambia's wrestling should be revitalized. In the midst of the argument, fascinating suggestions abound as to what needs to be done to wake this age-old sport from its current slumber. The gist of the argument lies at the very reason that led to the demise of the sport and what steps needs to be taken to revitalize it.
Also saying, Matar, my president, he did very, very good, and he's still trying, because it's not easy to run wrestling, especially when it's fade out in the Gambia. And to bring it back is very, very difficult. And like I always said, we have been overshadowed by Senegal. And right now, anybody you want to contract for wrestling is going to cost you money.
Abdoulaye Bojang has had a distinguished career in wrestling when the sport was enjoying its brightest period in the country. Watching the same sports take a hiatus, Bojang says is a painful reality that has dawned on him and the Gambia Wrestling Association. But for all its troubled past, there are signs wrestling is on the path of an exciting future, a feature that will undoubtedly see Bojang and the association as its central characters.
as of now, I'm trying to